Diksha, esoterism, Parampara, community and sectarianism. I was astonished recently to find myself debating with many devotees over what seemed to me to be a resistance to Manjari Baba. I felt obliged to ask why these devotees, most of whom were from ISKCON, felt it necessary to argue that it was not necessary to want to be Radha Dasi, but could be whatever they liked. Why they did not try to figure out why that was the desired goal of all our acharyas with practically no exception. If you follow a guru, you partake of his mood, and if the guru has a different mood from the one you seek, then why are you with that guru? If you want to be a lawyer, you go to a law school, not medical college, is it not? One expects the guru to be the same mood. Swayatija Shaya. Otherwise, what is the point of a guru? And if you don't know what your guru's mood is, then what do you follow? The line of grace is in getting the special prize that is the heart of the guru. This is why I believe the Parampara is more than just Siksha. We give particular importance when discussing Diksha to the interpretation of the Divyanjanam verse, the etymological definition quoted in Hari Bhakti Vilas 2.9 and Bhakti Sandarbha 283. Divyanjanam yato dadyat kuryat papasya sangsayam tasma diksheti sa prokta deshikais tatva kovidoi. Because it bestows divine divya knowledge and causes the complete destruction ksaya of sin. It is called Diksha by the teachers who are expert in spiritual truths. Jiva Goswami famously interprets Divyajanam in the following way. Divyajanam hi atra srimati mantre bhagavat swarupajanam tena bhagavata sambandha visheshajanam cha. Divine knowledge here means knowledge of the Lord's true identity in the sacred mantra, and through that knowledge of a specific relation with the Lord. In other words, the mantra is meant to communicate or define one's particular relationship with a specific form of Bhagavan. The Guru can initiate a disciple into a general practice or in a specific practice. In the beginning, one follows the general practice, but this initiation is in a specific practice. So we say that the Guru should be able to initiate in the specific practice at some point, which is Ekada Shabhava. There is no such comparable custom in relation to any other Sambandha, such as Saki Bhav or Sakya Bhav. So our Sampradaya is really a Manjari Bhav Sampradaya. This is of course a very narrow taste, and it is quite understandable that certain people wish to broaden the scope to include other rasas. But when Narottam says that Rupa Goswami recognized the inner desire or Manovishnu of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Sampradaya understands that this means Manjari Bhav. That is the tradition as I received it, and if that is not your tradition, then it is not the same tradition. That's right. Those who have Narottam Das in their Parampara should refer to Prem Bhakti Chandriko. Radhikar Saki Yoto Tahava Kohibo Koto Mukhya Saki Koribo Ganana Lalita Vishakatata Chitra Champa Kalata Ranga Devi Sudevi Katana Tunga Vidya Indureka Ashta Saki Leka Eviko Hi Narma Saki Gana Radhikara Sahachari Priya Prestana Madari Prima Sivo Kore Anuksana 50. How much I can say about Radha Sakis? There are so many of them. Let me simply name the most important ones: Lalita Vishaka Chitra, Champakalata, Rangadevi, Sudevi, Tungavidya, and Indureka. These are the 8 Sakis. Now let me talk of the Narma Sakis, the Manjaris. And there are Radha's companions who are also known as Priya Prishta, dear, most dear, or dear to the most dear, who engage in loving service constantly. Samasneha Vishamasneha na kori hodu vileha kohi matra rika sneha gano nirantarta ke gane Krishna katalila range narma sakhi sajjana. 51. The mix up those who are sama sneha, equaling their affections to both Radha and Krishna, and vishama sneha, those who are unequal. I am only going to speak of those who have more affection for Radha and Syam. These Sakis are always in Radha's company, delighting her with talks of Krishna. This is why they are called Narma Sakis. Sri Rupa Manjari Sara Sri Rati Manjari Ara Labanga Manjari Manjulali Sri Rasa Manjari Sange Kasturika Adi Range Prema Seva Kore Kotu Hole 52. Sri Rupa Manjari is the essence of them all. Sri Rati Manjari, Labanga Manjari, Manjulali, Rasa Manjari, and Kasturika Manjari all serve in love with great enthusiasm. Esa para anuga hoya prema se vanivo chaya irigite ujivo sabkaya rupe gune dagamagi sada havo anuragi basati koribo sakiramaya. 53. I will become the follower of these Narmasakis, and from them I will request services to perform, understanding what needs to be done simply from the signs they give. Becoming absorbed in Radha and Krishna's form and virtues, I will always remain in love, dwelling in the company of Radha's friends. Vrindavane Dvijana Chaturdike Sakhigana Samajana Bujibo Rasasuke Sakirangite Havecha Maradula Bokove Tabula Yoga Bochandamuke. 54. Radha and Krishna reside in Vrindavan, surrounded by the Sakis. I will easily know the times for various pastimes and serve according to the rasas. When will I find the divine couple with the charm around the indication of the Sakis? And when will I offer tambul to their moon-like pieces? Jugala charana sevi nirantarai babi anuragita kibo sadaya sadana babi vo jahasida de pavotaha ragapatera se upaya. 55. Thinking constantly of how I will serve the divine couple's lotus feet, I will remain always enthusiastically loving. That which I contemplate in my sadhana is what I will attain in my spiritual body. This is the method thought in the Raganuga path. Sadhane jedana chai sida dehita hapai pakwa matra se vichara apake sadhana riti pakile se prema bhakti bhakati loksana tatvasara. 56. That prize I seek in my culture of devotion is what I will get in the spiritual body. It is simply a question of ripe and unripe states of the same thing. When unripe, it is called sadhana bhakti. When ripe, it is prema bhakti. This is all you really need to know about bhakti. Narottama daseke yenomoraho vrajapure anurage vasa saki gana gananate amare likivela tate Tavahi Puravo Vilasa. 57. Narottam Das prayers, may this be mine, residence in Vrindavan with passionate love. When they make a list of Radha Sakis, may I be included in their number, then my wishes will all be fulfilled. Sakinam Sangini Rupam Admanam Vasanamayin Anya Seva Param Tattat Rupalankara Bhushitam. 58. I meditate myself as a companion of the Sakis, filled with desire for service, dedicated to their instructions for service, and decorated with their beauty and ornaments. Sanat Kumar Samhita. Manera Samarana Prana Madura Madura Dama Yugala Vilasa Smriti Sara Sadhya sadhana eiha bohyarana eita tva sarva tattva saro. 61. The life of the mind is smarana, remembering the Lord. It is the abode of sweetness. And of all the kinds of smarana, remembering the lila of the divine couple is the essence. So here I have told you about the process and the end goal. There is nothing more than this. You really need to know nothing more about spiritual life than this. PBC 61 Prema Bhakti Chandriko Apana bhajana katana kohivo ya tatha tha ihate hohivo savadhana na kori ho ke horosa na lai ho ke hodosa pranam mahu bhakti charana 119. I will not speak of my personal bhajan here and there in public. I will take care not to do so, and I hope no one will be angry with me because of it or find fault with me. I bow down to all the devotees' feet. Certainly, the whole issue of initiations is going to have to be figured out by the Vaishnava society sooner or later. Most people are not concerned with esoteric matters, and so those things will need to be bracketed. The contentious problem with initiation as it stands is not whether initiation itself is necessary, but whether one particular line of initiation is uniquely authorized or not. Since there are so many claimants to this unique authority, it seems that the injunctions that state initiation is not necessary, either for the Mahamantra or any other mantra, should be taken as the general rule governing Vaishnava society. It is hard to see how there can be any community strength in the Vaishnava word if we make Diksha a primordial differentiating characteristic. Though this divisive sectarian tendency seems to be well institutionalized now, in actual fact Diksha has become a separating factor as gurus claim possession of disciples as a part of their own sect or cult, rather than as a sign of a pertinence to a larger community. Even if one accepts some legalistic argument that gives his or her guru and particular lineage some unique merit, if this creates a mood of separation from the Vaishnava community, or even a sense of superiority that is not necessarily merited, then it does not seem to me to be particularly helpful in achieving a high standard of morality or humanity. A failure is particularly counterproductive. Yet the question, which no doubt is one that Siddhanta Sarasvati must have asked himself, is what is the function of a principle that rejects religion, example, the social dimension of spirituality, in favor of its individual esoteric self-discovery? At some point, access to the individual esoteric path must have a basis in a social ethic that is conducive to the path. In other words, children must be brought up in families and in community that will give them the necessary purity of character and psychological predisposition to seek and understand the esoteric path. A society or religious community is needed in which the language that communicates the esoteric truth is learned. The problem is that if the leaders of that community are not themselves educated in the esoteric, if their initiation is external or merely functional, example, an initiation that makes them part of a group defined not by internal realization but by external adherences only, then it will crumble into Vaidhi Bhakti, institutionalism and superficiality. So this is the sensitive issue that lies at the center of Sarasvati's idea of the Siksha or Bhagavad Sampradaya, but it does not mean that anyone following Sarasvati Thakur understands that, since it is quite apparent that his creation of a separate disciple succession has simply exacerbated the problem of sectarianism. Diksha, esoterism, Parampara, community and sectarianism.